Hi everyone, welcome to the Word on Wednesday. In 1 Peter 5:7 it says, "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." Things are not always as they seem. Things may be better or worse than your perception, or totally different than what you see and perceive with your senses. In certain situations when this is the case, we call it an optical illusion. An optical illusion is defined as a visually perceived image that is misleading. In Moncton, New Brunswick, there are stories that date all the way back to the 1880s about a strange road at the foot of Lutz Mountain, where the wagon would run up on the horse's heels going uphill. In the early 1930s, stories of cars rolling uphill without power piqued the curiosity of 3 newspaper reporters from the St. John Telegraph-Journal. In August 1933, they traveled to Moncton and spent hours trying every hill they came to in hopes of unraveling the mystery. After 5 hours of no success, they stopped to stretch their legs on the way home, and you guessed it, the car started to roll uphill. Slowly at first, then with gathering momentum, the car climbed uphill without power. They spent a couple of hours retrying the hill and using all the equipment they had brought to discover the secret. They noticed the water on the side of the road was running uphill. They ruled out magnetic properties. They decided it must be an optical illusion, but how and why they didn't know. The magnetic hill is an example of a type of optical illusion created by rising and descending terrain. Things are not always as they seem. The entertainment world was rocked, shocked, and devastated by the shocking death of a very popular comedian and actor, Robin Williams, on August the 11th, 2014. A man who spent his life and earned his living making other people laugh in public had a very private battle with depression. I remember learning about the news that Robin Williams took his own life. At the time of his death, in the Metro Daily News, a Halifax newspaper, I read this. Retirement Air Force Captain Miedrich Cousineau, who himself had struggled with depression, said this about Robin Williams. "The funniest man in the world gets taken down by the darkest illness. It doesn't take much to get to the point where you make a terminally irreversible decision and it's over." The story of Robin Williams is far too common. What you see on the outside does not always accurately reflect what is going on the inside. We pretend everything is okay. We smile, we laugh, we put on a brave face, yet inwardly there is turmoil. There's a lack of rest, there's a lack of peace, just an overwhelming sense of anxiousness. So what do we do with all of the anxiety that weighs us down? In 1 Peter 5:7 it says, "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." So how do you cast? There's a beautiful word picture in Luke chapter 19 and verse 35. It uses the word casting, the same word that we find in 1 Peter 5:7. The setting of the usage of the word cast in Luke is Palm Sunday, and the disciples have been sent to get the donkey or the colt ready for Jesus to ride on. Verse 35 says, "They brought it to Jesus, and casting their garments on the colt, they set Jesus on it." So the meaning is simple and straightforward. Cast it, and you will no longer carry it. In the passage in Luke, the colt works for you and carries the load. And so in the same way, God wants to work on your behalf, carrying your anxieties. In Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Psalm 55:22, "Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you." God wants to be a burden bearer for you. So throw your garments and your anxiety onto him. The first half of verse 7 says, "Casting all your anxiety on him." And the second half of the verse is, "Because he cares for you." So how do you practically make the anxiety transfer from your back to God's back? The answer is trust that he cares for you. Believe the promise. The command is to cast your anxiety on God, and the promise is that he cares for you. He cares about the thing that has you worrying. He cares about the thing that is weighing you down. He wants to be trusted for that, and his purposes cannot be thwarted. "I know that you can do all things," says Job, "and no purpose of yours can be thwarted." When he says he cares, it means he does. He will work, he will carry, if you believe that he cares, which is what the promise says, and believe that he is God, Then your fears will be lifted and you will be at rest. No pretending, you will be at rest. So 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast your anxiety on God by trusting that He cares for you.